All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about something that is quite literally all around you. It's in the clothes you're wearing, the phone in your pocket, probably even the coffee on your desk. We're talking about international trade. And I mean, seriously, just take a second to look around. You see that smartphone? Its components probably came from, what, a dozen different countries? Then they were all shipped to another country just to be put together. And your morning coffee? Those beans were grown thousands of miles away. It's this invisible global web that we're going to untangle today. So, what are we really talking about here? When you boil it all down, international trade is just the exchange of goods and services across borders. It's pretty simple on the surface, right? Think of Japanese cars being sold in America or an American company using software services from India. This is the engine that keeps our global economy humming. But, and this is a big but, that simple definition hides a ton of complexity. It's not just a simple swap, like trading baseball cards. No way. The journey a single product takes from start to finish is this incredibly intricate dance. So let's break down how it really works. First, just think about the sheer distance. You've got a factory worker in one country making something for a shopper on the complete opposite side of the planet. These two people will almost certainly never meet, but they are connected by this huge, complex system that most of us never even see. Yeah, it is a long chain of middlemen. A product's journey starts with the person who makes it, sure, but then it gets passed through all these different hands. You have specialized agents for ordering, then other agents for shipping, and then another set of agents just to get it through customs. It's this wild logistical ballet, and it has to happen perfectly just to get one thing from there to here. And on top of all that, this whole thing is governed by a super strict set of rules. I mean, you have to navigate completely different legal systems. You got to find a currency everyone agrees on, like the US dollar, and then you have to deal with every country's specific government controls. And did I mention the competition? It is fierce. Everything from the price to the quality, even the way something is packaged, can make or break a deal. So you might be thinking, wow, if it's that complicated, why even bother? Well, because the upside can be absolutely enormous. Let's take a look at the bright side and see how all this mess can actually build a much stronger world. It all boils down to this one really powerful idea: geographical specialization. Okay, think of it like a potluck dinner with your friends. You bring the amazing chili you're famous for, right? Your friend brings their incredible dessert. Everybody just focuses on what they do best, and the whole meal is way, way better because of it. Well, countries do the exact same thing. And when countries specialize, like India with tea or the UK with certain industrial goods, the results are pretty incredible. We get higher quality stuff, we get a massive boost in how much we can produce, and at the end of the day, things cost less for all of us. It creates this amazing positive cycle for the whole world. And the economic impact, it's staggering. We're talking trillions of dollars added to the global economy just from these efficiencies. For developing nations, this is an absolute lifeline. Trade gives them access to the money, the machinery, and the tech they need to build up their own industries from scratch. And these huge abstract ideas, they actually translate into real-world benefits for you and me. Trade raises our standard of living because we have so many more choices. It creates jobs, tons of them, at every single step of that long supply chain we talked about. And, it acts as a safety net. During a crisis like a famine, countries can import what they need. And maybe, just maybe, most importantly, it can help connect us, fostering a sense of cooperation through shared culture and ideas. But it's not all sunshine and container ships. International trade has a dark side, a really serious one. And the risks can be just as powerful as all those benefits we just went through. History gives us a pretty chilling reminder of how this can all go wrong. As one source puts it, the Britishers came to India as traders and ultimately ruled the country for centuries. It's a stark example of how trade can be used as a tool for one nation to gain economic and then, eventually, political control over another. One of the biggest economic threats today is something called dumping. Here's how it works. A foreign competitor, often with help from its own government, just floods another country's market with goods at ridiculously low prices. The local businesses, especially the new ones, they just can't compete. They get crushed. This leads to massive job losses and a really dangerous economic dependence on another country. And the dangers don't stop there. If a nation starts relying too heavily on imports, its own economy gets weaker, more vulnerable. If it exports too much of its own stuff, it can burn through its natural resources way too fast. And that same intense competition for markets, it can easily turn into rivalry and conflict, which completely undermines that idea of cooperation we were just talking about. So, where does that leave us? What's the takeaway here? Well, it's that international trade isn't just good or bad. It's not that simple. It's an incredibly powerful force that is, at its heart, a constant, complicated balancing act. It really is a double-edged sword. For every single promise of trade, there's a potential risk lurking right behind it. On one hand, you have greater efficiency, but on the other, you have economic dependence. You get a higher standard of living, sure, but it might come at the cost of local industries getting wiped out. The very same connections that can bring us together can also be weaponized to tear us apart. It's truly a two-sided coin. At the end of the day, we live in a world that is completely built on international trade. There's no getting around it. It's a system that brings us so many incredible benefits, but it also carries some very real dangers. So the real question isn't should we trade, it's how can we make it better? How can we shape it to be more fair, more sustainable, and more just for every single person involved?